Hello again and welcome to one more of my videos. My name is Sofia Tsurlaki. I am a Muslim, a convert, not a revert, a convert. I'm very conscious about that. And an academic of Islamic studies. My expertise lays on contemporary Islam. And in today's video, I will talk to you about why I strongly discourage people to convert to Islam because of a romantic interest. Now, usually, I have made a video in English and I have made another video in the Greek language because back in my country, in Greece, population is largely Christians. But I felt the need to just remind people about that. And I know I might tire some people, but it is crucial, it is very important. Perhaps because the way I see religion is much deeper than what most people see it. But anyway, it so happened that the last month I had two occasions that they were deeply disappointing. And of course, as a human being, I can just give advice when asked to individuals. But it's really disheartening and disappointing to see these occasions. So I will start with the most recent occasion. So in social media, people contact me, especially people from Greece. So I was contacted by someone. They wanted to have a Skype session to ask a few things about conversion. The story was very typical. Greek young man met a much younger Syrian girl. They met secretly a few times, secretly from her parents, that is. And then, of course, the girl was like, you know what, we don't have relationships, you need to come and ask me for marriage, but my parents will not accept you because you are not Muslim, you need to convert to Islam. So the young man came to me to ask me the hows and the technicalities. I strongly disapprove such conversions because it has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with passion. It has to do with lust. And of course, there is this that I don't understand, this tendency of Muslims to want to convert everyone to Islam. In my opinion, with devastating results. And I will give you a historical example. So one of the grandsons of Genghis Khan, we all know Genghis Khan, okay? You wouldn't call him a pious person or a, you wouldn't want him for a neighbor. Let's put it that way. So his grandson was the leader now. Genghis Khan has died and is slaughtering Muslims, by the thousands. So he is a despicable person in Islamic history. And then he decided to convert to Islam. And within a split of a moment, he became a hero. Did he change his character? No. It's just that now he was labeled as Muslim. And we are happy because one of us. Most lay believers, I know, most lay Muslims, they see it as a competition. Literally, they want to take from Christianity and Judaism. There aren't many Jews that they convert. Jews have different mindset, but especially from Christianity, it's like, bring everyone and anyone. But I'm not one of these Muslims. I don't approve conversions that are not related to the divine. And yeah, what I started saying is that most of these Muslims, that they are in this competitive mode of let's bring as many as we can so that we will be more in numbers and we will have, the benefit. They say, oh, maybe this is the way God chose to bring this man to Islam. I'm not quite sure it's God that chose that. And I would half accept this possibility if the person that called me had any notion about Islam at all, or any notion of religiosity. So what happened in the conversation when the person asked me how and what to do and what I'm supposed to do after that, because they were clueless. I asked him, I was like, what is your problem with Christianity? Why do you want to go to Islam? In the question, why do you want to go to Islam, the answer was very clear. I want to get married with this girl. So it was not exactly the soul that wanted the conversion. It was a very different part of the anatomy. But when I asked him, what's your problem with Christianity? He stated that, oh, you know, Christians are not as devoted in the religion as the Christians are. And I like the devotion of the Muslims. And I was like, I didn't ask you what is your problem with Christians. I asked you what is your problem with Christianity. So what is the problem in the religion? What do you object in the religion that God sent you in? Because if we accept that God sent him, the young girl from Syria, to open his heart to Islam, I can equally counter-argue that God made him to be born in a Christian society by Christian parents. And when I asked him, what is your problem with religion? Because personally, my personal experience as Sophia is that, yeah, I had issues with religion. I had theological issues. And that's why I departed. So I wanted to see his reasons. And his reason was, he stopped and he thought, and he was like, you know, I don't really know. I'm not very religious. I don't really go to the church. I said, okay, have you read the Bible? What is your problem with the Bible? He was like, no, I've never read the Bible. And it was the moment of irrationality. I was like, so what you just stated a minute ago as your problem with Christians, that they are not as religious, is actually reflecting your behavior. You are not religious. You don't have it in your heart. You don't go to the church. You don't read the scriptures of the religion that you are born in. So I was totally convinced that this human being has nothing to do with religion. All what he wants is to be able to enjoy the fruits of a Muslim woman. And because in her community, in her society, she cannot be given to, and I don't like the word given, but that's how these communities perceive it. So she can't be married to a non-Muslim. That's why he wants to convert. And then again, you will tell me, and what's your problem? Why do you have an issue with that? I will tell you. And I will tell you why. I will justify it by another example. So another example is about a female, a European woman, converted to Islam. To the best of my knowledge, she's married to a born Muslim man for 16 years now. The oldest child is 15 years old. So I met this woman in an academic establishment. In the first one-to-one meeting we had, because at some point we were like, okay, let's go for a coffee, let's discuss. She's a Sufi. She's shouting it from the rooftops that she's a Sufi. Now, personally, I'm a bit hesitant with Sufis for many reasons. We'll have another video about that. But I'm open to everyone. I mean, if you're a good human and I'm comfortable with you, you can be whatever you want. You can be alien. If you're a good alien, I will be okay. So in the conversation, she asked me to tell her what are my concerns about Islam and what are my interests, and I was explaining to her. And as I was talking to her about the distortions that have happened in Islam and how this bothers me, and that's why I'm trying to inform the people, her response was, oh, I don't care about all of that. And I was like, how can you not care about the laws, Islamic law, when you need to live according to Islamic law? And she was like, no, I don't care about all of that. All what I care is that I can just calm myself down and do my dhikr. Dhikr is something like, it's the equivalent of meditation in Islam. And I'm happy in my house, I'm happy in my family, I don't need to know anything else. This was a shock. I didn't expect that, especially from a person I met in academia. Anyway, I was like, you know what? I do me, you do you, alhamdulillah. For as long as we can respect each other, that is good. A month passed, another meeting was arranged. And in this meeting, she was asking me to tell her the different, sects and denominations within Islam in 21st century. So I was explaining things, and at some point I was talking about the Barelvis, the Barelvi Muslims. Now the Barelvi Muslims are very much Sufi, and there is a reason why I do this, which I also have issues because they deify the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I'm a bit hesitant on that. So as I was explaining to her the different sects, and I was referring to Barelvi, in a joking manner, she looked at me and she was like, oh yes, now that I'm writing this piece of research and I was talking to my husband told me that we are Barelvis. At this moment, I felt like if a cold hand slapped me. I had in front of me an educated and intelligent woman that was convert. And for 16 years minimum, she had no idea what type of Muslim she is. And now she does because her husband informed her. Her husband informed her of her religious identity. She never searched about Islam or researched about Islam. She never cared about the history of Islam, about the nomology of Islam. Do you want to convince me that this person turned to Islam because of love in God, because of love in the religion? Do you believe that this person knows the necessary minimum for the religion? And I will say something that it will sound very deep or very hurtful or something, and may God forgive me, that's not my intention. Because every human is God's Khalifa on earth. But honestly, this might be one of the reasons why Muslims today have lost the plot totally. And they have lost any connection to the Islamic principles as they ought to be practiced. If we have Muslims that they are Muslims without knowing what type of Muslims they are, without knowing what sect they follow and why, and these Muslims raise Muslims, these Muslims have children that they raise them as Muslims, what are we doing? I'm not happy with this reality. I'm not happy with this reality. These are nominal Muslims, Muslims by name, but they are out there. They speak on behalf of Islam. They act on behalf of Islam. It reminded me another case of, God forbid, I came across a case of a family many years ago. So the man Muslim, born Muslim, met a British girl. The girl converted and they got married and they had 4 children, and they were advocates of homeschooling because the idea was that the secular state schools will corrupt the children. Is this something bad? You do you and I do me and we are good. The problem was that this couple was appointed in their local mosque as trainers. They were training families of Muslims, especially converts. So women that they converted, because majority of converts are women, on how to raise their children. 10 years down the road, after they had their 4th child, the 4th child was a baby, the marriage broke, and the reality showed that the children were not raised properly. Children had to go to normal schools because the parents couldn't homeschool anymore. They had great gaps in knowledge. They had hardship. The man left the country, went to the Middle East to chase his good fortune, and left the woman to raise the children here. That's not the exact example of a family as we imagine it in Islam. And again, what the family experienced between them, alhamdulillah. But when these people were training the community, their local community, of how to parent children and how to be good Muslim parents, what on earth? So yeah, and I don't condemn the converts. I am a convert. But when you convert, know why you're converting. Be sure that you convert for the sake of Allah, that you have studied the religion before you convert. It's not like I will jump into the ocean and then I will think how I will swim. Learn how to swim, prepare yourself, learn your religion, learn the values, and then be able to support them and to honor them. If you jump into the religion, not because of your soul, but because other parts of your anatomy, you are not in the religion. And if anything, you harm the religion. Okay? So anyway, these are examples that I know of people, and I have other examples. I have mentioned them in a different video about mistreatment of converts, which is a different chapter. How especially convert women, are being, they don't know, all what they know about Islam is whatever their husband tells them about Islam. But anyway, I will conclude the video. There's no point delaying it anymore. I think the message has been conveyed. Honestly, we don't need clueless people bearing the title of Muslim and dressing with hijab and going out in the world and speaking on behalf of Islam when they don't know Islam, when they converted for... I mean, and let's clarify something. If there is a woman that she fell in love with a man, or if it's a human being that fell in love with a Muslim human being and they converted, but then they dedicated their time and they made the research and they know what they're talking about, alhamdulillah. The problem is that they jump into the religion. They don't care to learn. And then they raise Muslim children. They affect their community. For what? For what? That's not good. Anyway, I strongly advise, don't change religion because of a love interest. Honestly, don't. Change religion for the sake of Allah. That is the only reason. There is no other reason. For the sake of Allah. After you read the scriptures, the Qur'an that is, after you understand it, and when you have reasons to live your religion. If you don't know the religion, if you didn't give a chance to your own religion, what are you doing? That is all for now. I hope I will see you, or you will see me, in one of the next videos.